Welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. I hope you're all doing well. This video is all about manifestation, attraction, and steps that you can take to make things easier. For those of you that are on Patreon, there's some April messages and April readings up, and for anyone else that's interested, the link is in the description box. The first thing that we'll talk about is how important it is to listen to what's most natural to you, to become more of who you truly are, not trying to become something that would be so different or out of character. To be something completely different may seem like the thing that most people want, but I think what most people want is to be their true, authentic version of themselves. They want to fulfill what their soul came here to fulfill. They want the freedom to be themselves, to live life more fully, to feel more fulfillment, to feel more joy, to be more at peace, and to feel more complete. All people have innate wisdom and skills within their soul, wisdom and skills that could have been known or unknown, or could be unknown or known at the moment. So it's more of bringing that inner self out, like a memory that gets activated. Even though it may be wisdom, skills, and talents that you've already developed, there may be some necessary steps to embody them. So finding what's most natural to you, your ideal version of yourself that aligns with the inner truth of who you are, can be really helpful in manifesting and attracting the life that you desire. It may be helpful to sit down and brainstorm and think about the interests that you have in life. Think about what you enjoy, what you're drawn to, what skills or character traits you would like to develop or improve, what comes naturally to you. You came here to be more of yourself, not to be another. And this does not mean limiting yourself in any way. It means finding out what certain things mean to you, what prosperity means to you, what joy means to you, what peace means to you, what freedom means to you. You can live an abundant, peaceful, fulfilling life and be your true self, and it may look very different than another person's idea of a peaceful, fulfilling life. Your soul's desire or true purpose for incarnating could even be something that is completely different than what is consciously known to you at the moment. It could be something that seems so unattainable from the current perspective of self, but it would always be aligned with the innermost truth of you, your soul's purpose for incarnating. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is how realizing your unity and connection to a greater shared experience can pull you out of a limiting state and put you into an expanded state. People really want to be free of the self that all the limiting ideas have attached to. When we're so focused on ourselves, it can be really easy to get overly focused on what seems to be lacking, which could be another way of affirming separation or opposition. A way to avoid this is by relating to others and having the intention that your good is also a good thing for others in some way. It's finding the right balance between creating your own experience for yourself and co-creating within the experience you share with others and the greater collective. And to work on this, you could do some intentional good deeds each day that benefit another or benefit the world in some way. It could be something really simple, like speaking a prayer or an affirmation for another, or even just the world, like something general. You could also ask for an opportunity to do something good for another. It could be just being kind, being useful, or helpful in some way. The next thing that we'll talk about are ways to create less resistance. A way to create less resistance is to speak, read, or contemplate words that are positive or affirmative, such as love, health, compassion, strength, dignity, joy, prosperity, success, thankful, and so on. This takes the resistance out because you're not trying to make yourself believe something about yourself, but you're just affirming words. You're putting your attention on these words and then kind of relating to them in your own way. You're simplifying the message that you're giving to your subconscious mind. And these are kind of like commands that can be heard more clearly. And the greater you will know the best way to bring these into manifestation. So you could take a few minutes each day and simply write a list of words and read them. You can also do this with pictures. Another way to free yourself of resistance is by being true to yourself and doing what you know your inner self knows is right, or keeping a clear conscience. Meaning your inner needs creates a foundation to meet your outer needs. Doing what you know to be right for you may change over time. It may vary depending on what you know at the moment and depending on circumstances. But as long as you're being true to yourself, it will make things easier because you create harmony internally, and there will be nothing in you to deny your good. You could ask yourself before making any decision, does this align with me right now? And does this align with what I feel is truly right? You could let intuition, inspiration guide you. You could even ask yourself what the effects or results would be if those effects and results align with what you truly want for yourself or others. And if you're acting from this position, then no matter what the end result is that you have in mind, you'll be guided to take action in the best ways or the right ways. Now I thought I would talk about reconciliation and forgiveness, and how all manifestation and attraction is a sort of result or effect of some act of inner reconciliation and an act of forgiveness. This can happen subconsciously without being consciously aware of this inner process. Consciousness is freed when pairs of opposite conditions are brought together from within. This is how we steadily rise above the limiting levels of conditions, the limiting levels of consciousness, the limiting levels of creation from within ourselves, and into a permanent awareness of our unity and our oneness. This means that there's an inner process of uniting contradicting ideas to free the conditioned consciousness. Then that clears away anything that's denying what you're wanting to be positive towards, identify with, attract, or manifest. It creates inner freedom so there can be greater outer freedom. Then there would be no one or no thing to oppose you because you're not opposing anyone or anything from within yourself. You generate more inner power, you become more magnetic when you're non-resistant. It could be a way of saying being at peace with yourself and all others, regardless of how things may seem at times. And developing that inner peace is definitely a practice. A way to develop this trait is reminding yourself that there is a higher power and a greater intelligence guiding the way, a power and intelligence that acts through all individualities and all of creation, and that creation is always in divine order. Nothing can hinder what you develop in consciousness, and nothing can get in the way of your spiritual freedom. So part of not denying your good is not denying the good of others, because the power and intelligence that attracts that good is the same power and intelligence that's acting through all others. And lastly, love is the most powerful way to attract and manifest. Your capacity to love affects your capacity to give, which affects your capacity to receive. We can only give what we've developed internally, what we're actively practicing within ourselves internally. So if we work on and practice being more loving each day, we increase our capacity to give and receive. I hope this was helpful. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.